In a dire turn of events, the town of Jinshan in northern Taiwan is grappling with catastrophic flash floods as relentless rains from the looming Super Typhoon Krathon engulf the region. What began as a steady downpour quickly escalated into a full-blown emergency, with floodwaters inundating homes, businesses, and streets in a matter of hours. The scenes emerging from Jinshan are nothing short of nightmarish. Cars submerged or swept away by powerful currents, roads transformed into rushing rivers, and buildings heavily damaged by the onslaught of water. Early this morning, Jinshan's drainage systems were overwhelmed, leaving entire neighborhoods underwater. The local government declared a state of emergency, urging residents to evacuate from low-lying and coastal areas as quickly as possible. But for many, the floodwaters rose too fast, trapping them in their homes. Videos shared on social media depict the chaotic scene, residents stranded on rooftops, frantically waiting for help, and cars being carried downstream, crashing into debris. Rescue teams have been mobilized, working around the clock to reach those cut off by the floods. Boats and helicopters are being used to access areas where roads have been completely submerged or washed away. However, with heavy rain still falling and rivers continuing to rise, emergency crews face an uphill battle in getting people to safety. The local fire department, along with military personnel, is focused on evacuating the most vulnerable, including the elderly and children who are at greatest risk as floodwaters continue to climb. The Taiwan Central Weather Bureau reports that Jinshan has already received over 300 mm of rain in just a few hours, with even more rain forecasted in the coming days. Super Typhoon Krathon, now classified as a Category 5 storm, is expected to make landfall in Taiwan soon, bringing even more heavy rains, destructive winds, and life-threatening storm surges. Experts warn that the worst is yet to come, and that Jinshan's current ordeal could merely be a preview of the devastation Krathon is set to unleash on Taiwan. Despite the best efforts of local authorities, the situation in Jinshan continues to deteriorate. Power outages have affected large swaths of the town, leaving thousands of residents in the dark. Floodwaters have damaged critical infrastructure, including bridges, roads, and electrical lines. Emergency crews are struggling to keep pace with the rapidly changing conditions, and resources are being stretched thin as more people are displaced by the floods. Temporary shelters have been set up in schools and community centers to accommodate the growing number of evacuees. But space is limited, and the need for supplies such as food, water, and medical aid is urgent. The local government is urging all residents in flood-prone areas to evacuate immediately, warning that the combination of ongoing rain and the approach of Krathon poses an extreme threat to life. However, many families remain trapped in their homes, waiting for rescue teams to arrive as floodwaters inch closer to engulfing entire structures. For some, the only escape route is through windows or rooftops, where they signal for help. Meteorologists have issued further warnings of possible landslides in mountainous areas surrounding Jinshan. With the soil already saturated and the typhoon's rains yet to fully arrive, the risk of landslides is dangerously high. Roads leading out of town are being closely monitored, with fears that some could be completely washed away in the coming hours. Officials are urging everyone to stay off the roads and avoid attempting to travel through flooded areas, as many vehicles have already been lost to the powerful currents. Across Taiwan, preparations for Super Typhoon Krathon are in full swing. In addition to the devastating flash floods in Jinshan, several coastal towns have been evacuated as authorities brace for the typhoon's landfall. In Taipei, public transportation has been suspended, schools and businesses have been closed, and disaster relief teams are on high alert. Airports across the island have grounded flights, and ferry services have been suspended in anticipation of dangerous sea conditions. Taiwanese authorities have ramped up efforts to minimize the impact of the impending storm. Rescue operations are being coordinated with international relief organizations, and disaster response teams have been deployed to the most vulnerable areas. Local meteorologists have described Krathon as one of the most powerful typhoons to hit the region in decades, comparing its potential impact to past catastrophic storms. The government has mobilized military forces to assist with evacuations and emergency relief, focusing on coastal areas and regions already experiencing heavy flooding. International aid organizations are also preparing to offer assistance as the storm's effects are likely to be felt far beyond Taiwan. Neighboring countries, including China and Japan, are monitoring the storm closely, with some regions preparing for potential impacts in the coming days. While it's unclear where Krathon's final landfall will occur, its current trajectory suggests that Taiwan will experience the brunt of the storm's fury. In Jinshan, the community remains resilient, but the challenges are mounting. Residents are banding together to help each other through the crisis, but many face an uncertain future. As floodwaters continue to rise, there is a palpable sense of fear and anxiety. Emergency responders are working tirelessly, but the scale of the disaster makes it difficult to reach everyone in need. Super Typhoon Krathon's approach has cast a long shadow over Taiwan, and the people of Jinshan are at the heart of the unfolding disaster. As the island braces for the storm's full impact, the focus remains on saving lives and minimizing further damage. The coming days will be critical as Taiwan endures the worst storm it has faced in recent memory. Stay tuned for further updates as we track the devastating effects of Super Typhoon Krathon and its impact on Taiwan and surrounding regions.